Welcome, I'm Councillor Denise Ward and I'm delighted to be the new chair of Active Tameside and proud to introduce the annual report for 2020. Active Tameside has evolved into a trusted partner for the Council in the delivery of a multitude of high quality, cost-effective health and social services. The integration of mainstream leisure services such as gyms and pools with commissioned services across the full life course means that Active Tameside really can help everybody to live their best life. I'll now pass you over to our Chief Executive, Chris Rushton, who will take you through a year like no other.
Thanks Denise. 2019 was a fantastic year for Active Tameside in any number of ways. At our awards ceremony in November, we recognised the achievements of colleagues throughout the business, including Marie Hulley from Active Ashton, who was named overall Employee of the Year. Having hit budget in the financial year 2018-19, record direct debit levels during the course of 2019-20 meant that going into the last month of the financial year, a surplus of at least £300,000 was on the cards. A hugely successful launch of the Tameside Wellness Centre on March 2nd took the Active Tameside estate to a new level. And then, lockdown. On March 20th, all commercial trading ceased and would not recommence until July 27th, during which time overall monthly direct debit revenue, which had breached £300,000 for the first time earlier in the year, was decimated. It is the case, however, that despite a reduced management fee and the collapse of commercial revenues during March, Active Tameside again hit budget for the financial year 2019-20. Lockdown presented unprecedented challenges for Active Tameside, ranging from an existential crisis for the business itself to the acute needs of some of the most vulnerable adults and children within the borough. Children of key workers with particular regard to physical education and holiday provision were also a consideration for Active Tameside as it sought to support the Council and ultimately the NHS. Active Medlock was immediately transformed into a COVID-secure social care hub for the perpetuation of commissioned services, and as we entered the second wave, this continues to be the case. In addition, Active Tameside coaches delivered COVID-secure PE and holiday sessions with numerous Tameside schools to the benefit of both key workers and their children alike.
And we're going to reach up.
It's also the case that remote support was delivered to both mainstream members and those with long-term conditions on the Live Active referral scheme. Live Active members were able to access classes delivered by their favourite instructors online, whilst hard copy support was delivered to those without access to digital support. Mainstream health and fitness members were given free access to world-class Les Mills On Demand virtual classes, which could be accessed via the new Active Tameside app. To date, the app has been downloaded by over 10,000 people and it's been a resounding success. On July 27th, after some 4 months of lockdown, Active Tameside began the phased reopening of its facilities. The reopening schedule was predicated on the safety of staff and customers alike and was informed by guidance from government, Public Health England and various governing bodies. COVID secure status necessitated any number of innovations, including mandatory booking for all sessions, rigorous inter-session cleaning regimes including fogging, social distancing measures which had the effect of significantly reducing capacity, and the use of PPE where appropriate. In combination, these measures continue to compromise the viability of Active Tameside, as is the case for the sector as a whole, though we're currently in dialogue with our insurers in relation to a potential claim. Further, Active Tameside continues to work closely and collaboratively with the Council with a view to securing the long-term future of the business as a force for good within the community. Phase 1 of reopening included pools, gyms and studios, and by the end of September, over 100,000 bookings have been processed, largely via the app, to almost universal customer acclaim in terms of perceptions of cleanliness, safety and organisation. Fundamental to the success of the phased reopening plan was a comprehensive training programme for all employees returning to the workplace following furlough via the innovative Future Fit Reactivate platform. Training was orientated around a keep it simple approach to the 4 S's, they being spacing, sanitising, signage and smiling. The plethora of testimonials we've received since reopening would suggest that this model is both evident to and appreciated by our loyal customers. The COVID crisis has had a devastating impact on local clubs and volunteer groups across the borough, but the Tameside Sport and Physical Activity Network, which is supported by Active Tameside, has been hugely successful in supporting these organisations in a variety of ways.
We created the Tameside Sport and Physical Activity Network to basically support Tameside sports clubs and physical activity groups and just to give them one-to-one support and development to basically aid their sustainability for future generations. So far in year 1, 85 clubs affiliated to the network, which is a range of different sports clubs and physical activity groups which are all based within Tameside. Probably 3 key highlights for this year is obviously with the pandemic, what we've done is we've assisted sports clubs and physical activity groups to gain Sport England funding to the tune of £70,000, which is obviously brought within the borough. We have placed 12 volunteers who are supporting Action Together, who are charity based within Tameside, and what we've done is place them into sports clubs who are actually volunteering within the sector. And probably the third highlight has been the development of a women-only cycling group. So we've got 40 participants weekly who are actually enjoying doing cycling.
The vast majority of Active Tameside centres and services have now reopened, and initial trading has confounded our expectations. Despite ongoing local lockdown and the COVID secure protocols I referenced earlier, more health and fitness memberships were sold in September of 2020 than 2019. Swimming and gymnastics lessons are operating at full, albeit reduced capacity. Most group exercise classes are oversubscribed, again a function of reduced capacity. All of this bodes well for the long-term viability of the business as we adapt and learn to live with COVID. We've learned many things during the course of the pandemic, but more than anything else, we've learned that Active Tameside can help people to live their best life in increasingly diverse ways, in our centres, in our streets and parks, and online. Consequently, we strive to innovate through initiatives like the Sport England local delivery pilot, which will fund cycle pods in both Hyde Park and Stamford Park. We'll continue to develop our Active Streets programme, which has been a lifeline to many vulnerable and isolated people. We'll also seek to tackle growing inequalities around school readiness and inactivity through the work of the newly appointed Early Years Development Worker. The pandemic has changed the world we live in, but it's not changed our mission, vision, values or ethos as a not-for-profit registered charity. There can be no denying that the months since lockdown have been challenging in the extreme, and we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. Nevertheless, the messages of support and appreciation that we continue to receive from customers across the full spectrum of our products and services leave me in no doubt that our future is bright. And let's not forget that in the spring of 2021, the new Hyde swimming pool extension will be open for business just a year after the launch of the Tameside Wellness Centre in Denton. Thanks then to our customers, staff and key stakeholders, particularly the Council, for supporting us during this most turbulent of years. We will emerge stronger and even more resilient.